Hello, my name is Yesenia Martinez and today we're going to talk about slope. First, let's take a look at the equation of a straight line. It is y equals mx plus b, where m equals your slope and b is your y-intercept. So in a graph with a line, you can easily tell me what the y-intercept is, because the y-intercept is the y value of the line that crosses the y-axis. But how do you find slope? Well, what is slope? Some people, they write slope as the change in y over the change of x. And others call it delta y over delta x. And then another way of writing it is rise over run. So those are the units that the slope uses. So how do we find slope? Well, in order to find the slope of the line, you need 2 points from the line. And with those 2 points, you're going to use the slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we'll talk about what those sum numbers mean. But for right now, let's highlight this formula so you know which one to use. So you know what slope is, and you know that you need 2 points to substitute into the formula. So let's use all of that to solve the first example. In the first example, you have a table with x and y values, and these values are coordinates, and these coordinates make up a linear function. So the first step in order to find your slope is that you need to pick 2 points. In this case, we're going to pick 0, 3 and 2, 9. And let's label each number. Since 0, 3 is the first coordinate and 0 is the x value, we're going to name 0 x1 and 3 is going to be y1. And for 2, 9, since it's the second coordinate, we're going to label 2 as x2 and 9 as y2. So with those 2 coordinates, you're going to substitute the points into your formula that we just wrote down. Okay, let's recall that formula. It is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And let's highlight all the corresponding values. So y2 is 9, and we're going to highlight it blue. y1, we're going to highlight green, and it's 3. And for x2, we're going to highlight it pink, and x2 equals 2. And the last one, x1, is 0. Okay. So let's substitute our numbers in. y2 is going to be 9 minus y1, which is 3, over x2, which is 2, minus x1, which is 0. So in the numerator, we have 9 minus 3, which equals 6, over, in the denominator, we have 2 minus 0, which is 2. This reduces down to 3 over 1, which is 3. So our slope is 3. In a graph, we can see that from the table, we can see that the y-intercept is at 3, or y equals 3. And the slope is up 3 over 1. So you go up 3 and over 1. Up 3 and over 1. And you keep doing that until you make your line. And so if you see this graph of the line, you can say that the slope of the line is positive because the slope is positive. Therefore, the y values will increase as the x values increase. Okay, so let's move on to example number 2. We have the same setup. We have our table with the x and y values that make up a linear function. And the first step is to pick your 2 points. For this one, we're going to use 310 and 4, 8, which are right here. 310 and 4, 8. So now we have our coordinates. So let's label each number. 3 is going to be x1 and 10 is going to be y1. 4, since it's in the second coordinate and it's an x value, we're going to label it x2. And 8 is going to be y2. Okay, so let's recall our equation. We have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so let's highlight all of our numbers. We have y2, which is going to be blue, is equal to 8. We have y1 is going to be green, and that is equal to 10. Next we have x2, which we're going to highlight pink, and that's going to be 4. And the last one we're going to highlight yellow, and x1 is going to be 3. Okay. So let's substitute our numbers in. We have y2, which was 8, minus y1, which is 10, over x2, which is 4, minus x1, which is 3. So let's solve this. 8 minus 10, that's negative 2, over 4 minus 3, that is 1. So our slope here is negative 2. So for this one, our graph is going to look like this. The line is going down. The line is going down, therefore the slope of the line is negative. Okay? And the reason it's going down is because when we start at the intercept, you're going to go down 2 and over 1. So we're going down 2 and over 1. Down 2 and over 1. And that's how we make our line. So the slope of the line is negative, therefore the y values will decrease as the x values increase. Moving on to example 3. In example 3, we have the same setup. We have our tables with the coordinates that make up a linear function. And our first step is we're going to pick 2 points. So the ones that I'm going to pick are 1, 1 and 7, 4. Okay, and they're right here. 1, 1 and 7, 4. And if you notice throughout the examples, I didn't always use the points that were next to each other. You can use any point that you want as long as it's in the same line. So now let's label our numbers. This 1 right here, this 1 is going to equal x1. The y value 1 is going to be y1. 7 is going to be x2. And 4 is equal to y2. So let's recall our slope formula. it is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And let's highlight all of our numbers. So y2 we're going to highlight blue, and that is equal to 4. y1 we're going to highlight green, and that is equal to 1. The next one is x2, and we're going to highlight that pink, and x2 is equal to 7. And the last one we're going to highlight yellow, and x1 is equal to 1. Okay, so now that we have everything highlighted, let's substitute our numbers in. So we have y2, which is 4, minus y1, which is 1, over x2, which is 7, minus x1, which is 1, and we're going to solve this quotient. So we have 4 minus 1, that is 3, over 7 minus 1, which is 6. And this reduces down to 1/2. Okay? And so it's okay that it's a fraction, because that's what slope is. You're just saying that it's the rise over run. So the rise here is going to be up 1 and over 2. So in our graph, we have our y-intercept, and our rise is going to be 1, and the run is going to be 2. The rise is going to be 1, and the run is going to be 2. And that's how the line gets formed. Okay? So since 1/2 is a positive number, the slope of the line is positive. Therefore, the y values will increase
as the x values increase.
At the bottom of these Cornell notes is a summary portion, and here you can write your summary on what you learned today. Okay. If you have any questions, you can email me. You can print out these notes or write them in your notebook, and have a good day.